Hey, Jim, how are you doing today?
I'm having a good day.
That's great. So we're going to be talking about digital marketing today.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Are you excited?
Yeah, I
All right,
will.
awesome. So in today's live streaming event, what we're doing is we're having a really high-level overview of digital marketing. We're not going to get too much into details, but we're going to cover a lot of ground. In future live streaming events, what we'll do is we'll get into a lot more details on these items. But for today, it's just really a 10,000 foot view. So I have a PowerPoint presentation that I like to go through, and I use it to organize some of the thoughts. Is it okay if I show it, Jim?
Yep, that sounds good.
All right, so I'll go ahead and add in our presentation there. And in fact, I'll make it full screen so this way everybody can see it clearly.
Hmm.
All right, so as I mentioned, well, let me go back a little bit. As I mentioned, we're talking about digital marketing today, 10,000 foot view. And specifically, we're talking about digital marketing as it pertains to a e-commerce company. Um, a lot of the things here could be used for B2C, but it's also for B2B as well. If this is your first time on our channel, if you're coming in from YouTube, we ask you to click the subscribe button. That way you'll be notified whenever that we have a new educational video that's out regarding digital marketing. If you're coming from Twitter, feel free to follow us, and we continuously add more documentation and guides and tips and tricks and ebooks to those pages. So this way you can help people understand digital marketing better. So this particular live stream we're calling Digital Marketing for B2B e-commerce, and what are the benefits? So let's just jump into it. All right, so first we're going to start out with the Wikipedia uh, definition of what digital marketing is. So digital marketing is marketing that uses the internet and online-based digital technologies such as desktop computers, mobile phones, and other digital media and platforms to promote products and services. So it's a pretty broad term there. It basically means anything that you're doing to market your company in a digital way, as opposed to a physical way, such as a billboard or an advertisement on television.
But Gary, we're including Facebook and Twitter in those.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's a great observation there. So with digital marketing, there's the 7 pillars of digital marketing. One is branding. You want to make sure that you have good branding for your company because your branding can help people understand your company, what it stands for, and build trust and become product evangelists for your company. Social media, which Jim, you just mentioned about Facebook and Twitter. YouTube obviously is something as well. We're doing a YouTube video right now, uh, and a Twitter live stream as well. Content marketing, which we'll talk about pretty extensively in this live stream. Email marketing, SEO, web design, UX, and video marketing as well, which to a certain extent this live stream is an example of video marketing. So here I thought is a really interesting quote. It's by Rand Fishkin, who is the CEO of SEO Moz. SEO Moz is a company that creates tools for digital marketers to be able to analyze your SEO ratings with Google and make suggestions on how you can be linked up higher. So when it comes to, let's say e-commerce success and making sure that you're visible on the web, this guy is the pro. So he made an observation, which is in 2004, good SEO made you remarkable on the web. Today, good SEO is a result of being remarkable on the web. And we've had some customers of ours at Connect to Business where, I would say, and Jim, let me know if you agree with this. We have some customers that make a pretty good investment into e-commerce and some that don't make any investment. And we see dramatically different results
Yeah,
from
that's certainly true. Yeah.
from those companies. We've had a few companies that's become publicly traded companies that started out on Connect to Business. Certainly, a lot of companies went from very little to hundreds of millions in sales and beyond. Some have been snapped up by Fortune uh, 50 companies, and some have gone on to become their own publicly traded companies as well. But the companies that succeed are the ones that really are out to make a remarkable experience from their website. Uh, Jim and I had talked with a company a few weeks ago where they just wanted to do some of the real basic stuff. on their website, and we're show them how they can do it themselves, but just let them know it's really probably not going to make a difference because the product market that you're going after is too competitive. And it's great that you're going to increase your meta tags and a few other things, but unless you do some of these other things, you're really not going to experience the growth that you're hoping to experience. So the thing that we really want to emphasize when it comes to digital marketing and growing your website is you've got to create a fantastic web presence, something that's going to bring people there multiple times, something that people are going to want to link back to your website because they'll say, "Oh, we found this cool thing, and here's a link to go check it out," because Google's going to recognize all those things. It's going to recognize the traffic. It's going to recognize the link backs. It's going to recognize the content that you're putting out there for your clients, and they're going to reward you. All right. Along those lines, we have what we call the Entice Way. So at Connected Business, we have a division of our company that's called Entice Marketing. And Entice Marketing, we really specialize in helping companies grow their e-commerce. And we've learned a lot as we've continued with Entice, and we want to share some of that back with you. So a few things that we learned. One is the fact that you just can't do one thing and expect to be successful. You got to be able to check all the boxes if you really want to be successful online. So with Entice, we take a holistic approach to the brand by combining the user experience, the back office logistics, and state-of-the-art marketing automation. And let me explain to you why we approach things that way. So we have what we call the three pillars. Basically, it's trust, visibility, and direct marketing or digital marketing. So first thing with Build Trust is the real-time platform. So I know a lot of customers will go to somebody's website. We've had a lot of people that we've moved over from other platforms where they'll do a good amount of sales, a few $100,000 a year in sales, and they're pretty happy with that. But the problem is their customers just didn't trust the website because they realized that the stock information really was not reflective of their real stock. And they were disappointed with back orders or things not shipping or not shipping on time or whatever it happens to be. So one of the things that you really need in order to be successful online is to have it when your customers come to the website that they trust you, that they trust your company, they trust your brand, they trust the information that they have on the website. If you don't provide that trust back, you're going to lose that customer and you're probably going to lose it forever. So the first thing that you really need to be able to do if you really want to grow your online sales is to build an e-commerce platform that people can trust. The next,
Gary, didn't we find that even the accuracy and layout of the descriptions pertain to that? When people were going through it, they could lose trust.
absolutely, yeah, because if someone sees that, and we'll show this in a couple slides down, but if you're able to show that something's out of stock, but you're receiving more, let's say next week, then that just builds a lot of trust into the website, and allows for buyers to realize that your inventory is tied up to the website, and if they're ordering something for their store to stock the shelves, that it's going to arrive. If they're ordering a swimsuit for a vacation that they're about to go on, it's going to arrive on time. So trust is extremely important, and with Entice, we build those experiences that help people trust your company, and you need to do that as well. The next thing that we'll talk about is review aggregation, website design, product photography. We'll get into each one of these on a very high level, and then in future live streaming events, we'll get into these in a lot more detail. So we'll just jump on to the next slide here. So we'll start out with the items under the trust. So company reviews. So what we really recommend is to add some sort of a review company to your website and to collect the reviews for your company after someone places an order. So for example, at the bottom of your website, you might want to put like a slider bar with, like we have here in the example, of the different customer reviews that you've got. Now, if you're on one of our Entice One programs or the Entice 1500 program, then we actually include a Trust Bucket account, which will aggregate those reviews from Google and a few other sources and show them on your website. You can also respond to reviews. If you get a negative review, you can actually respond to it within the Trust Bucket portal, and it will go ahead and update Google or some of the other sources as well. But if you're not using Entice and you want to be able to bring reviews, there's companies out there that provide that type of service. We highly recommend that you sign up with one, because if someone comes to your website and they're not exactly sure who you are, seeing those reviews makes them feel a lot more comfortable about signing up and spending money with you. The next thing is product reviews. So it's important to make it easy for companies to leave, or users to leave product reviews with you. And then Google has the ability to collect what they call structured data, Google structured data, and you can push that back to Google. And if you do that, then those reviews will show up in the search. So if you have a product that people are searching on, we can kind of see here, two different scenarios, like this one with the tuxedo. So this company has no reviews, whereas this one down here has the reviews. So with Entice, we specialize in working with the Google structured data and sending that data information back to Google. So this way, your search results are highlighted on Google and a lot more extensive than what is otherwise possible out of the box. Pretty cool, huh, Jim?
Yep. Yeah. This has been very good for a lot of our customers.
Next, we're going to talk about real-time data. And we talked about it a little bit earlier. So here's one of the design packages that we created for our demo store. So you'll notice, it's got the in-stock notifications, but if you put your mouse over an out-of-stock product, it'll let you know when the product's going to be back in stock. Now, we can do this with our connected business application because of the fact that it has supply chain integration. So it's not just the customer information in real time. So if you're a B2B company, then you get all kinds of pricing options and everything being the same, whether that they order at a trade show, through the telephone, through the web. But also it ties up your supply chain information. So whatever that you have in your purchase orders will come through and show up here as well. So this is just a great feature. Now, you can also use it to, if you're in a B2B environment, maybe you want to do the same thing with the in-stock, but show what the quantity in stock is if someone puts the mouse over. So that way, if you have someone that needs 1,000 of something, then they could put the mouse over and they can see, oh, okay, they have 1,400. So let me go ahead and let me order 1,000 of that right now. Branding. Branding is something that a lot of companies just don't think about. But branding really brings together your company, what it stands for, and the emotions that people are going to have when they see that branding. So, with a lot of our customers, we suggest that we do for them their brand guidelines. Here's an example of like what we call the primary colors. We also have secondary colors and how logos are used and different variations of the logo and so forth and so forth. But branding is something that, if you're not familiar with how to do branding, you should really get familiar on how to do branding and the importance of the brand. At the end of the day, your company really is your brand. So that's an investment that you really shouldn't skip. If you take a look at, people like Steve Jobs, Netflix, just a lot of the top companies, you'll see where they spent, just a tremendous amount of money just to develop, how their logo looks, because they recognize that, if they're going to spend all this money on advertising, they're building that brand, and that brand has to be professional looking, and it has to be unique, and it has to be something that really, in some way or another, has an emotional response back to the products and services that they provide.
Now, Gary, they can use their Entice service credits toward improving the branding, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly. So we do have a branding service where, we'll just talk with you about, your logo design, colors that you're using, tag words, even things along what tone to use when doing product descriptions um, and other web content. But, the idea is to try to keep everything consistent because, eventually the goal is to, have your company go viral, to have customers that are evangelizing your brand, and they have to feel passionate about it. And if you if you have a brand that looks unprofessional, it's going to hurt you in so many different ways. Product photography. That's another thing where, we see a lot of companies kind of skimp on. In the old days, people would walk into a retail store, they would find an item, they'd say, wow, this is this is kind of expensive. Let me see if I can find it cheaper online. And they really didn't care what the photography looked like. They really didn't care what the descriptions look, how the descriptions and the rest of the content. The only thing that they cared about was the low price. And that's going back to that 2004 quote that we saw earlier, where people can, basically see the product, understand the product from the retail store, and then they buy it online to save a few bucks. It doesn't quite work that way anymore. Stores have cut back, they've cut down. People are buying directly from the website without traveling into the store. So they have to have a good idea of what that product looks like. Poor product photography is not only going to hurt your sales, they're going to hurt your conversion rates, they're going to increase your returns. So make sure that you have good product photography. With Entice, we do offer photography services that you can use your credits for. The cool part about that is we take the photographs that you have approved, and then from there we compress them down to make sure that they're the lowest file size possible to keep your website running fast. And then we actually upload the pictures for you. So it makes it really simple. It's, here's 50 new products that we added to our product line. We take the pictures. I love these pictures over here. I don't like that one so much. Go retake it. And then, next thing that they know, pictures are all online. They don't have to spend their time worrying about those details. They can spend their time growing their business and doing other things.
And then Gary, and they don't pay for the pictures they don't like, right?
That's correct. Yeah, you only pay for the pictures that you like. We also offer 360 product photography, and you can get 360 product photography from lots of different sources, so you can find a local one near you. The benefit to, and you'll see here where, in the latest versions of Connected Business, we added in this 360, setup 360 image button. So this is what it looks like when you click on that. The benefits to 360 product photography is it does convert higher than normal product photography. It does result in lower returns. Now you'll notice in this one, we have two images. We have the small image and we have the large image. So as let's say someone clicks into a 360 product photography, as they zoom into it, then it will automatically transition from the small low resolution image to the higher resolution image. This way people can get in and really see the details of that product. It's almost like holding it in your hand, Jen. So it's a great option for companies that are looking to take that to the next level. Next, we're going to talk about visibility, which is really your traditional digital marketing pieces. So again, everything that we've really covered up until now is under trust, doesn't really fall under digital marketing as it's defined. But digital marketing is really anything about your company that's being exposed online. So when you show, the wrong product information or terrible photographs or all these other things, they're really not going to help you build your brand, because you can go out and you can do everything correct and drive a lot of traffic to your website because you've created this visibility. But if your website doesn't convert, it doesn't matter. So that's why I wanted to start with that, the trust. So under visibility, first thing we're going to talk about is the one that everybody wants to talk about, which is search engine optimization, which means a whole lot of different things. And it actually means a lot of the things that we're going to be talking about coming up. Now, when we work with a client, first thing that we'll do is we'll set up a project in, either SEMrush or Ubersuggest. Those are two different tools that we use. But as a company, you can go out and you can get those tools yourself. So SEMrush definitely has more information and it's easier to use. The Ubersuggest is very powerful as well. So whichever tool that you feel comfortable with. From that, it can, the way that we would normally use a tool like this is we would set up your company, then we'd set up who your competitors are, and then these tools would let us know what the keyword differentials are, what keywords are people are typing in this Google that's going to your competitors, that's not going to your website. And then we can come up with a content plan around, all right, we're missing content around these items. If we can add this type of content, then this is how many more people that we should be able to get to come to our website each month, because right now your customers are stealing all that traffic and we want to get some of it for ourselves. So when done right, search engine optimization is a highly effective method of attracting buyers to your website. Now, one of the things, a big misperception on SEO is people think it's something that you can do once and you're done. But SEO is really like playing tennis. um, we'll do we'll set up, your website, we'll go through, we'll keyword optimize, we'll create content, and it's all about stealing traffic away. We're directing traffic to you instead of directing traffic to your competitors. But just like we're doing it, most likely your competitors are working with someone as well that's going through and noticing, okay, they're stealing our traffic. So now we got to go through and we got to change how we're approaching these particular keywords. So let's up the game on our side. Maybe we're going to write a blog article. We're going to increase content. We might do some video marketing on it. So then all of a sudden traffic starts going back to them. So then you come back and it's like, okay, well, we were doing pretty good with these keywords, but now your competitors stole that. So let's go and let's steal it back. So with SEO, it's an ongoing investment in time, and most companies spend anywhere from 8 to 74 hours a month just researching and executing on SEO related initiatives for their website. So it's something that you need to make an investment in. You need something that you need to put time in. It's something that, as a business, you can definitely bring in somebody, have them train on the latest SEO trends. It's constantly changing because Google is constantly changing, and apply all of those things to your website. But if you want to be visible online, this is what you got to do. How's that sound, Jim?
Yep.
It
You got to
sounds
stick with it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's exhausting, but it pays off. It's that's how companies grow. And actually, I'm going to go back one here. Let me go back to this one. One of the most successful fashion companies in the world right now is a company called Shein. So it's SHEIN.com. And fascinating story. It's a Chinese company, and the owner of the business didn't come from the fashion industry. He was actually an SEO expert. And when he had launched the website and it was doing fairly well, but he realized he needed to get some investment if he was going to really grow it. When he put together his pitch deck and started looking for investors, the first thing that everyone came back to him was, "Hey, you have no experience in fashion. Why should I invest in some guy that has no experience in fashion whatsoever, that's trying to build this fashion empire?" And his response back was, in today's world, it's not about understanding fashion. In today's world, it's about understanding SEO. And he was correct. Today, Shein is doing over $10 billion a year in sales. And it's not because they understood fashion very well, but they knew how to get eyeballs onto their website. And then as the company grew, obviously they brought in people that understood fashion. So SEO is really super important if you're going to grow your e-commerce operations. Now, part of search engine optimization is content marketing. And there's a saying in the digital marketing world, which is content is king. And that means that no matter what you do, if you don't have content, you are not going to be able to show up on Google at all. So what we do over on our side is we use tools when we develop content for you that make sure that everything is content optimized based off of the keywords that we have set based off of what people are searching for. So, for example, here's one with Godiva chocolates for gift baskets, and it's coming over on the right-hand side. These are the various keywords that people are searching for around that topic. And what we do is we write the article to make sure that as many of those keywords as possible are incorporated into the article. So you'll see over on the right-hand side, the content score is 78. The one that's number one only has a content score of 34. So this article is actually better than the one that's showing up number one on Google. The top 10 is 67. We've done a pretty good job of SEO optimizing this as we put it up on to the customer's website. So if you're going to do this for yourself, make sure that you have a good tool that's out there that will help you understand the text that you're writing, help you understand the keywords that you really need to focus on as you're writing that text, and giving you an approximation of the SEO score from 0 to 100 of how that this is going to show up, and how Google is going to, what the chances of Google actually finding you is going to be.
Now, Gary, with our current customers, have we rewritten very much of their content?
Absolutely. For the ones, what we'll do is, like with our current customers, we start with a priority, right? So, for example, if we're, looking at the website, we'll come back and say, all right, based off of the keywords that's driving traffic to your competitors, they're beating you up on the best Godiva chocolates for gift baskets topic. So we need to steal some of that traffic for them if we want to get that business. So at that point, it becomes sitting down and optimizing it, and then you just kind of work your way through. It's you take the keywords that have can drive the most traffic, and you handle those first, and then you continue to work down the list until you got everything that it makes sense to invest from a cost perspective of, all right, let's spend X amount of money developing SEO optimizing this content, so this way we can drive Y amount of sales back to our website. Now the cool part about content marketing to keep in mind is, if you're, let's say, a company that's going to be selling Godiva chocolates for a decade, you're right at one time, and it'll be driving traffic for you for 120 months. So it's a one-time investment, and it's an investment in driving traffic to your website. Whereas if you do, let's say, a cost per click, it's every time someone clicks on it, clicks on your advertisement on Google, you've consumed that investment, and it's not going to continue on because the investment's been consumed at the time that they click. Whereas when you're optimizing and creating content, that investment is going to pay off dividends for years, or a decade for some companies. How many hours a month should I plan for content marketing? And this really depends. If you're a company with 3 different products, there's one answer. If you're a company with thousands of products, there's a completely different answer. But even if you're a company with, let's say, just a handful of products, you might need to create blog articles and other mechanisms around that product. So if you're selling, let's say, a pillow, you might want to do, 3 to 4 blog articles a month on, how to sleep better, less back pain, less neck pain, whatever it happens to be. But you want to continuously find, reasons and keywords around sleeping and lack of sleep and better sleep, and make sure that you have content out there that if someone's in the middle of the night and they can't sleep and they're typing something into their phone of, I can't sleep, I need a better pillow, help, that your website's going to show up, on the first page, second page, worst case scenario, and people's going to, be compelled to buy your product that night, so this way they can sleep better tomorrow or the next night after that. So it's an investment that people need to make. Next, we're going to talk about social media marketing. And social media marketing is it's a slow burn. It takes a while to get followers, and you invest quite a bit for quite a long time without too much return. But every time that you add followers, then there becomes more and more people that start looking at things, and the more that you can get traction, the more traction you're going to get. So if you get 1,000 users, you'll get 5,000 pretty soon. So so social media is one of those things that you just got to keep at it. People were at, there's marketing research that shows, multiple posts a day are really required to get any sort of attraction onto your social media accounts. We do have tools on the Entice side that's complementary with one of the bigger Entice plans around, automatically posting your post to multiple social media channels at the same time. So this way it shows up in multiple places. And we have a tool that's called Sniply, which is pretty Interesting. What it does is it allows us to take an article on a particular topic. So before we were talking about pillows, right? So let's say if there's an article out there about, how important pillows are for a restful night of sleep, um, we can actually take that URL, pop it into our Sniply, and it will overlay an ad for ourselves onto whatever article. So you can take something that's on, let's say, Fortune or, um, you know, um, Yahoo or CNN or Washington Post, wherever it happens to be, and it will strip out the ads that's would normally be on that page, and then show an ad for your company. And then that's an easy way to post it up onto something like Twitter, like, hey, check out this article from Washington Post talking about how to get a great night's sleep, and then you post the link to that, people click on it, and they see an advertisement for your company. So it's we have lots of different tools that we use to be able to make sure that your social media is doing the best that it can. The other thing in the main tool that we use, it does suggest hashtags. It does some analysis. What's the best time to post? What's the best days to post? And we take advantage of all of that when we're posting for people. So if you're not using social media marketing now, you should. But it does also require an investment. So the average company spends about an hour and 12 minutes a day on social media marketing. So that's about 24 hours a month. So keep in mind, that's investment that you need to make. It's also one that, quite honestly, if you're starting out with it, uh, for most companies, it's going to be at least 6 to 9 months before you see any kind of traction that's going on. So keep that in mind.
Now, Gary, when you write content for this, can you write content for one of them and then apply it to multiple sources?
That's a great question, Jim. As a lot of people know, on Twitter, you only have a few characters. We also have the ability to post to, let's say, Facebook or LinkedIn, which allow you to basically post, thousands of characters. So we do have the ability, when we create something, that we can say, okay, on Twitter, we're going to paraphrase from this article that we just wrote. So we're only going to include, these 3 sentences. And then for LinkedIn and Facebook, it might contain multiple pictures. It might contain multiple paragraphs. Um, we might take information that we wrote on a blog article and, incorporate it in as well. So with the tools that we use, it does have the ability to split up um, the content depending on the platform. But excellent question. Video marketing. All right, so we got 3 slides here on video marketing. So video marketing has a lot of benefits to it. So, for example, here's a video marketing piece that we did with one of our clients. They had a new product that was launched, and they wanted to do an unboxing video, which is very common on the web. So in their case, this provides a lot of different benefits. One is it provides the benefit of customers being able to see the product and to be able to see what it looks like as it's coming out. So they also embedded this into their website. So as people are buying the product, they can feel confident that the product is going to meet their needs. So it increases the conversion rate, reduces the return rate. The other thing is we'll go ahead and we'll post this up onto YouTube. And then on YouTube, then we can have link backs to that product and also link backs to the company itself. So in SEO world, we have what's called domain authority. And domain authority is a score that between 0 and 100 that basically grades how important your website is online. So someone like Google would be 100. Somebody like another company may only be a 5. So if you have, let's say, 2 articles that have the same SEO score as far as keywords and all that type of stuff, and one has 100 domain authority and one has 5, well, the one with 100 might show up on pages 1 or 2, whereas the company that has a domain authority of 5 may show up on page 60 of Google with the same exact content. So domain authority is also one of those things that you want to get up in your with your company. And to get domain authority, it's all about the backlinks coming back to your website. So when you have a link coming from, let's say, YouTube back to your website, then that increases your domain authority because they see that somebody with a high domain authority is linking back to you, saying that this is a good place to get some relevant information. So video marketing is all about, it provides a lot of different benefits. It provides the customers with assurance that this is the right product for them, but it also provides you with another SEO tool. So if someone's searching for something on Google and they click over to videos, then they can see that a video exists on your product. But then also it helps you bring up your domain authority ranking, which is just going to bring up all of your other content that you've created for your website. So lots of benefits to be able to create video marketing. The next one is live streaming events. We're doing a live streaming event now. So if you have a new product, it's great to do a live streaming event, and we could do that here at Entice. We actually have a guide that takes you step by step through everything. So with the live streaming event, it gives you multiple touch points with your customer. There's a touch point of, hey, we're doing a live streaming event. Then there's the touch point, hey, we're doing the live streaming event right now. And then there's another touch point of, hey, we did the live streaming event a few hours ago. Here's the link for you to be able to watch it. And then you could take that, put it on YouTube, put the link backs like we discussed in the previous slide. We can also add the live streaming event to that product and say, hey, we had a live streaming event on this product. Check it out. So live streaming events are great for a product company that's doing e-commerce. It's an ability for the designer of the product, the creator of the product, to go out and tell the story. Maybe share some of the early designs of it, why you chose the materials that you chose, the craftsmanship, the workmanship, the hours, the blood, the sweat and tears that went into creating the product. All of the things that, make the product feel a lot more personal to the consumer. If you look at brands that are evangelized, like, let's say, the Apple brands, it's always Steve Jobs going up in front of a big audience with his live event, which is basically the live streaming event is the equivalent of talking about the work that went into creating the product and how proud they are of the product. And the same thing with Elon Musk and his activities. So now this is live streaming events as the way to bring that to the masses, for you to be able to, take all the work that you did creating this product and then showing the world how you created it, why it's special, and making them feel a lot more connected to your product, and also multiple touch points from a marketing perspective. Okay. Now, the other thing that we can do is, once we got these videos on, Google has what they call Google structured data. We talked about that earlier in the product reviews, but it can also be beyond just product reviews. So if you have products that have videos, we can actually upload that information, or we can add that information into your metadata in a way that Google will pick it up the next time that they come and crawl your website. So then they will update their search algorithms to let people know that, hey, this company has this product and here's a video right within the search terms, or right within the search results screen. Pretty cool, huh, Jim?
Yeah.
Really sets your company apart. And, here's a couple articles that, both of these are, less than 30 days old. The first one is at the top upper left-hand corner there, was from Fortune magazine, why video is the future for e-commerce and everything else. So kind of think of, there's a lot of ability to be able to use the live streaming events. You can, put them on your website. It's almost like you're turning yourself into a little home shopping network. So you're bringing your website alive and really taking it to the next level. And then, also the ability to tie all that into social media, which Financial Times did a nice article about that as well. So it's really the hot topic today. And over on the Entice team, we have the technology, and we have the ability to bring it live. And typically, we try to put it into like an interview style, like kind of like what we're doing here, of hey, tell us about your product.
So then, Gary, when they create the videos and say they put it on the website, then
Uh-huh.
if they have a link to it from Facebook or Twitter or something, when the people link to the video, then they're getting the click back, or
Yeah, they're getting the backlinks. So
okay,
yeah, what a backlink tells Google is, other people have found this information on your website to be so vital that they're referring their own customers or their own viewers to go check it out. Um, so backlinks are really important, but there's a lot of like SEO firms that will say, "Hey, $99 will get you 2,000 backlinks," but they end up giving you backlinks to other websites that, and sometimes you'll see it. You ever search for something and you misspell, like, let's say digital camera, and then you get some screen that shows like 5 or 6, like, click here for digital camera search, or
Mm-hmm.
so those are websites that's been put up just for backlinks. And Google knows those, and they basically don't count them, and they become what's called toxic backlinks, because they may have a domain authority that's a 5. So if your domain authority is a 5 and you have backlinks from another website that's a 5, you're not getting anywhere. It's not helping you, that backlink. If it's a let's say you have a 20 domain authority and you're being linked from all these websites with 5s, it may actually bring you down. So you want to make sure that you have quality content. You want to make sure that that content is being linked back from other quality websites, and then that will raise your boat, so to speak.
Well, it seems like a particular advantage on Twitter because they limit the amount of content you can have. So by just doing a link to a full explanation, you get the backlink plus you get to show them all the information.
Absolutely, yeah. And there's other ones as well, and we'll discuss those in the when we get into the SEO live stream event. But
Okay.
there's blogging engines that are out there where you can do a guest blog and send traffic back to your website. And there's Q&A answer websites like Quora, where somebody can ask a question like, what's the best running shoes? And then you can talk about your running shoes, what went into it, and put a link back. So there's lots of different opportunities to raise your domain authority score. So now we're actually going to get to some more digital marketing, which is kind of the third pillar that we look at. Um, so, the first part with digital marketing is you really need a digital marketing automation platform. And digital marketing automation will explain exactly what we mean by that, but this is the Wikipedia explanation. So what is digital marketing agency platform? Well, it allows marketers to scale lead management activities such as marketing campaigns, nurturing leads, and scoring leads appropriate to determine if and when it's ready to engage for sales. Um, so it's confusing what digital marketing automation is, but I promise as we go through the next few slides, it will make more sense. All right, so a lot of people they'll use something like Constant Contact or Mailchimp, and they'll say, okay, we're already doing our digital marketing, and that's not digital marketing. That's email marketing, which is a piece of digital marketing. So with the digital marketing automation platform, it's all about really automating responses. So someone comes to your website, they perform an activity. The marketing automation platform is using some artificial intelligence to craft up a message and send to them. Just like if someone walked into your store and you notice that they're looking at a particular product, you might walk over to them in the physical world and say, oh, can we help you answer some questions on that? And they'll be like, well, we're not sure about this. And it's like, all right, well, let me show you these 3 other products. So a good digital marketing automation platform would notice when people are shopping, what type of products that they're shopping, and offer them some other products through email or another digital marketing form at a later time if they haven't completed a purchase. So it's a way of taking the real world and moving it into the digital world. Something like MailChimp just sends out an email. So whether or not someone is shown a buying intent or not, they're going to get the email. Now, what ends up happening is after a while, people just get turned off. It's, they keep on getting emails on, let's say, dresses for girls, ages, 6 to 12. But maybe they went to a birthday party of somebody and they needed to buy a dress at some particular time for a girl that was between the ages of 6 and 12. And now they're being spammed for the rest of their life on these dresses. So the idea is with the digital marketing automation platform, you're able to track what people are doing online. You're able to see what buying intents that they have, and you're able to use that to send relevant customized, personalized emails to them. So we kind of listed a few of the most popular digital marketing automation platforms. The first one is Entice Studio, which is the one that our company's developed that's really integrated with our Connect to Business and Connect to Business e-commerce platforms. If we take a look at, let's say, Act on Enterprise, which is one that we have several of our customers still using today, especially ones that are on older versions of Connect to Business, HubSpot Enterprise, and Salesforce Marketing, which used to be called Perdo. We have a few customers that are using that as well. Those platforms, they start at about $3,000 a month and go up from there. And that's just for 10,000 contacts. Now, the difference between something like an Acton, HubSpot, Salesforce Marketing versus, let's say, a MailChimp Enterprise is the fact that it can create dynamic emails based off of a whole bunch of metrics and buying intentions, whereas MailChimp Enterprise can't do that. So if you really want to grow your sales, you need to be able to go beyond just saying, hey, here's 15 products that's on sale, and really being able to send out an email that says, hey, you were shopping for shoes yesterday, you didn't check out. Here are some real popular shoes that we have. So it's really taking it to the next level. So with our Entice Studio, it's a full automation platform. If you're on our Entice programs, you get the Entice Studio at no charge. Now, I have to say it's complicated and it's complex, and a lot of the emails are not really like emails that you would see in a MailChimp where you just drag and drop and create something. A lot of the emails are code, meaning that it's taking a look at what's going on. It's mixing data from multiple different data sources, and it's using that to create a very unique email for that particular person. So with Entice Studio, you could send out 20,000 emails and not 2 of them could be the same, because of the fact that just like Amazon, they're not sending out generic emails. They're sending out personalized emails. Makes a huge difference as far as conversion rates and profitability. We've had some people that sign up for Entice Studio and just got confused within a few minutes. And that's one of the reasons why we started offering services, because we realized that not all of our customers are going to know how to program some complex code into their emails.
So Gary, it's also doing tracking based on what products they purchased, and they could have campaigns that recommend other products with the email messages based on
Absolutely.
their history.
Yeah, and I got a short video that's coming up that shows a little bit about that. So also with the Entice Studio, we have the ability to do what we call data collection forms. And data collection forms is available in something like a MailChimp, but we take it to the next level. So, for example, we can easily add, let's say, a pop-up to your website. So you've gone out, you've done a great job of getting visibility onto your website. People are coming to your website, but if they come and they go, it didn't really help, right? Because maybe they didn't see something at that particular moment, but it doesn't mean that they never want to buy anything from you ever. But since they're gone, they may not find you again. So what you want to be able to do is to pop up something onto your website, shortly after they come to your website, and present them with a gift in exchange for leaving some personal contact information. So in this case, we have, join our VIP club and save. Someone puts in their email address and click subscribe, and they get a 10% discount on their first order. This has a lot of benefits. One is, the conversion rate's almost 5%. So that means that, if you have 100 people come in from Google, you're able to capture about 5% of those. We have some of our customers that's, closer to 12 and 13%, but industry standards 4.8. The other thing is, because of the fact that you're offering a discount, research has shown that people spend 3.2 times more. So if they plan on spending $30 with you, they'll probably spend 120. And the reason why is because they feel like they got a discount that they may not get in the future. So maybe they came with the idea that they were going to purchase that little girl's dress between the ages of 6 and 12 that we talked about earlier, but they also saw some pretty cool shoes that they want to add on too. They weren't shopping specifically for shoes, but they got a discount that's a one-time discount code for joining their program, and they're going to use it. Um, and then the other thing is, we see here, I put some question marks, and, you don't know how many additional sales that you'll get in the future with this as well, because, out of that, let's say 4.8%, a lot of people will leave. And then maybe, 3 months down the line, you're going to send them an email on something, and then they'll see that, and they'll come back to the website, and they'll end up placing an order. So, the ability to remarket to them is just, really important. And the same thing with the question marks. Now, the way it works, because in a digital marketing automation suite, is as soon as they enter their email address, the automation suite is keeping track of their IP address. It put cookies on their computer. So we're able to not only track what they're doing in that session, but we're able to track what they're doing in future sessions. And that kind of brings us to our next point here, which is the tracking and lead scoring. So once someone fills that information out, we can track what products that they're looking at, what pages that they're going to. If you're in a B2B world, we can actually let the sales team know if certain things happen within a particular contact. Also, if you're with a B2B organization, maybe you met someone at a trade show, and you sent them an email through Entice, and now they've come back to the website and they're taking a look at, let's say, shoes, whereas you thought that they were interested in buying belts. So when your salespeople gives them a call, you're going to now talk about shoes instead of belts, because you were able to track to see exactly what they were interested in online. So again, digital marketing automation suite just starts to collect this information. It tracks what your users are doing online, so this way it can turn around and create very personalized marketing experiences for your customers that are going to convert higher. And your customers are going to be excited when they get an email from you, because they know it's going to be something that's relative to what their interests are. So Jim, I'm going to move to the video. This is a video of
Okay.
of an email that we did for a customer. They wanted to incorporate a lot of information, and this one email is getting information from multiple data sources. So as we play the email, well, let's just go ahead and or play the video. Actually, it's a couple slides down. I'm sorry. So we're going to talk about email types first before we show that one. So you have what's called transactional email. So that could be an order, could be a copy of your invoice, a shipment notification. It could be another email that maybe goes out a week after the order of, hey, review these items for us. Let us know what you think. Marketing email, and that's something that you can usually do inside MailChimp, since we talked about that before. That could just be, hey, we have a Halloween sale, we have Christmas sale, we have Labor Day sale. It's something that's very generic, and it'll be the same email going out to everybody, basically. So if you have 20,000 people on your email list, each and every one of them is pretty much going to get the same email. And then you have the marketing automation, which really means that everything is specialized for that one person. Now, in this live streaming event, we're not really going into too much detail, but I'm going to go into a little bit of detail on this, but not a lot. We're going to do a live streaming event on marketing automation. But with marketing automation, there's really, you should be able to do marketing automation for your entire customer life cycle. So you'll notice here we've broken it up into welcome. So that's, someone's come to your website for the first time. It's usually driven by that pop-up that we saw before. There's other ways to drive that. But the pop-up is kind of the most conventional one. But we have ways to program it where, data coming from somewhere else can be injected in. Browsing. And for a lot of our customers, the browsing marketing automation pays for the whole thing. And what I mean by that is, the browsing will be, let's say, for example, someone comes to your website and they're looking for children's dresses between the ages of 6 and 12, and but they don't buy something. They got distracted. Something's pulled them away from your website, whatever it happens to be. But we can send an email. Maybe it's 2 hours later. Maybe it's 4 hours later. Maybe it's the next morning at 7 a.m. Whatever time frame that you wanted to send out, that's all up to you as as the e-commerce company, and we can set that up. But it's an email that goes out that says, hey, you were checking out these dresses. You want to come back and complete out this purchase, and that's been really successful for a lot of our customers. So we have some statistics with that. I don't want to spoil it for the next presentation, but for a lot of our companies, they make far more in the product browse campaigns than what our service costs for them for the entire month. And then we do the same thing with cart abandonment. So, if you're in the e-commerce game, you recognize cart abandonment, how important that is. Same thing. It's fun to, watch, people get the email saying, hey, you left a few things behind. Click here to complete out your order, and, watch them actually complete out the orders. So that's a really high percentage. The product browse and the cart abandonment, those emails have like a 40-50% open rate too. So, if you think about your own personal shopping habits, how many times you've been on a website with the intention of completing a purchase and then get a phone call or have your kids chase after you, or it's time to go eat dinner, whatever it happens to be, and you don't complete out that purchase and you completely forget. So the marketing automation brings them back during those browsing. And then we have the post-purchase campaigns and the retention campaigns as well. So marketing automation is just, it's a money printing tree. So it's a good opportunity to really increase your business just through that one item. And here's our video. So this is email that we created for a customer. So the very top, the email data is being driven from their browsing history. So it's based off of what they've been browsing. Then what we'll do is we'll go into the connected business data and look to see for the products that they've been browsing, if there's any new arrivals, if there are, what they are, what the best sellers for those categories of products that they've been searching for coming from your connected business data, and then what items there are on sale based off of the products that you're browsing. So, so an email like that will be, personalized based on the purchasing intent. So if I'm looking at shoes, I'm going to see things around shoes. I'm going to see the best-selling shoes. I'm going to see which shoes are on sale. I'm going to see what the new arrivals from the shoes are. So what we're doing is we're combining the information from what they're showing that they're, by their browsing history, what they're looking to purchase, and then we're collecting data from multiple different sources to basically show them everything we got to complete out that purchase for them. You ready for the conclusion here, Jim?
Yep. I'm all set.
Okay. Is there any questions that you have until this point?
Gary, did you mean me or you mean the audience?
Either.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're on YouTube, there's a chat window that's there. We can see those. So if you want to leave any questions, Jim, if you had any questions based off of anything that we've covered.
Yeah. It's just it's an awful lot of information. Like you say, the future ones will go into more detail.
It's
Yeah.
a big topic because of the fact that really at the end of the day, digital marketing really encompasses everything that is digital in your business. Everything from your branding to your marketing to your content. It's everything.
Yeah.
And then I want to leave off with just an interesting survey that we saw about a month ago while we're doing some research and some education on our side. This was a survey of failed e-commerce businesses. They were asked, the companies or the owners to list, the top 3 reasons why they felt that their e-commerce failed. Number 1 was poor online marketing. Number 2 was lack of online search visibility. So those are 2 items that we just talked about. So, digital marketing is just so key to make sure that your company is successful. Another one, as we go down in green, has got outcompeted. I'm going to attribute that to other companies providing better marketing and better search visibility, better content, better pictures, better videos. The other company just did better. So that's also a high reason of companies that failed. And the last one is the poor team around them. And we'll talk about that here in a moment. But for the items that's in white, ran out of cash, costing issues, retail giants putting me out of business, lack of customer service. If a company could really focus on the things that they're best at, like running their business, and allow for them to outsource to professionals the other items like the online marketing, and make sure that I'm visible on in the search world, and I don't get outcompeted, then they can really focus on those items in white. So one of the things that with Entice is, we feel that we level the playing field because we bring all of these different human assets to your company that you probably do not have today and would be very expensive, unless that you're a large company and, adding on another, 4 or 5 employees just around your e-commerce makes a lot of sense. But if you're a smaller company and you're just getting started out, within the Entice team, we have all these different experts that you can utilize. And as your company gets bigger and grows, and we help you grow, then you can bring these different people in house if you prefer. But Entice is really a way for smaller companies, especially, to be able to compete against larger companies because of the fact that we bring all these things to the table.
Gary, one of the things that I heard the most from our existing customers was how surprised they were with how much benefit they got from the content development from Entice, which they didn't plan to do. They didn't see that initially, and not just blog articles or not just email messages, but descriptions, things all over the website. It just, I think it made a big difference for them.
Yeah, and it also, it makes them look more professional. It not only increases the visibility, but again, once someone comes to your website, the next thing that you have to battle with is trust.
Yeah.
If someone comes to your website, you're trying to sell a digital camera, and your description says, this is a digital camera.
Yeah.
Um, uh, it's not going to add a lot of trust to the consumer to purchase that from you. But if you have a lot of product content and descriptions and maybe a video that you put along, they can feel confident that this is a company that has been around, that's actually going to ship the digital camera, and has made an investment into being a professional company. So yeah, that concludes today's live webinar, our live streaming event. So on the Entice side, it's all about working smarter, not harder. Now, everything that we talked about today, if you're a small company and you don't have a budget, then these are things that you can learn to do yourself. Maybe you don't have 24 to 70 hours to spend on something in a month, but even if you spend 4 to 8 hours, it's better than spending no time. So hopefully for those of you that's watch the live streaming event here, you've been able to take down the items that you need to concentrate on, prioritize that on your side. Maybe after this you can go out and do some research, or you can wait for our next live streaming event. Our goal is to do 2 a week with these, and we'll get into a lot more detail on why these things are important. Um, you know, results that you should see from the investments that you're making, and how we approach these things and get these things ranked up for our customers. So Jim, unless you have anything else that you want to talk about, then we'll wrap this one up.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much, Jim. And everyone, thank you for attending today. We really appreciate it. This was our first live streaming event, and it's now in the books. Thank you.
Mhm.
Bye.